What's happening? This is Grant Luna with Fidelity National Title, and for today's video I'll be showing you a step-by-step guide of how to create a targeted email campaigns to renters in a given area, as well as how to include some really nice helpful links in those emails to really up the engagement that you're getting with these emails that you're sending out. So the first step will be Fidelity Total Farm. So if you don't have a link or an account to Fidelity Total Farm, there's a link in the description for a step-by-step guide of how to actually create one of these accounts. In general, it's a great system to have, free data basically to see, have an awareness of, and then start to integrate this data with some of the systems that you're already working with. So today, the example case I'll be doing is, let's say I wanted to do an email campaign to all the people that are currently renting in this neighborhood, area 180 in the Palisades. And so what Total Farm does is when you initially click on a farm, it's going to show you all of the data for that farm. So this is all the homeowners that own a home in the Palisades neighborhood, whether they live in that home or not, right? So it's 1,400 records right here. But let's say I wanted to do an email campaign to the people that are renting within this area, because what's nice about Fidelity Total Farm is you can purchase the emails for 6 cents a record within the system in mass. So you just have to click a few buttons. You can get hundreds of emails really easily exported on an Excel file for you. So let's say I wanted to get the renters. So what I can do is select absentee up here at the top of the screen. And now it's giving me the 266 properties within area 180, the Palisades, where the owner themselves doesn't live in the property. And I can see that here, where the site address is the property that exists within that farm area. And if I move over here to the right, to the mailing address, I'll see that these addresses are different, insinuating that the owner lives somewhere else, which means this property here within the Palisades is likely rented out. And so now what I can do is purchase the emails for this farm. So what I can do is select actions down here at the bottom left, get emails and phones, and then I want to select site address, and then reverse email all records, then go to reverse. And then now it'll show me the cost of this. So it's basically, if I'm using credits within the system, around $10 for that purchase of 181 email addresses. And so that's what's nice is once I have these emails purchased, email campaigns are relatively inexpensive, borderline free for a lot of the systems that you're probably already using in your brokerage, your CRM, whatever you're using. So you can proceed with user credits. If you don't have them, you can click refill here. It'll take you to this menu where you can enter in credit card information, buy credits, the amount of credits that you need, $1 credit basically. And then you'll have that data. So to see that data later, because it might take some time, especially if it's a bigger order, you can go back to the farm. I search 180, go back to Palisades, and to see that file later, you can go to actions, get emails and phones. So basically the same place that you went to purchase the emails in the first place. And then you can select go to reverses here. And so now it's going to give you a list of that data that you just purchased. So it might say 180 Palisades, and it'll say the number of records it was able to find. The nice thing about this CSV format when you're buying it for the site address is if you're finding emails for the site address and it finds those emails, it's actually going to give you the renters' names here. So as I scroll down, I have all these emails and the renters' names associated in this column here. So it lends itself really nicely with a lot of these mass email campaigns where it'll filter through each of those contacts for those emails and auto-populate the person's name. So this email now is going to be a little bit more personalized to the person that's receiving it. So now I can use something like MailChimp. And for example, I can create a campaign. I can import these contacts that I got from Fidelity Total Farm. So let's say I wanted to download it. I can simply just click the file name and then download it to my computer. I can name it renter. If it was the Palisades, I can say Palisades here. Now, whatever system I'm using, if it's Vista Sotheby's, an ActivePipe, Keller Williams Command, MailChimp, any system that you're using, it's likely going to have an import contacts feature. And the key part about being able to import contacts is the fact that you can tag them. So you can segment them within an overarching database that you have within that system. So then you can basically create one email and send it to all of the people that have a certain tag. And in this case, maybe you want to tag it area 180 Palisades renters. So then you can send an email to all contacts that fit that criteria. If you want more information on this or need a little bit more help in setting these things up, let me know. Happy to help you with that. But I just wanted to show you an example of a simple campaign that you can set up using AI as well and Fidelity Agent 1. So I'm going to show an example through MailChimp of how you can create a super basic email. So I'm going to go to campaigns, create a campaign here, and then email. And so now I basically just need to decide the subject for this email and the content of where this email is going to go to. So first, I'll design the email. And I just want to choose a basic template here. So I'll select apply, start from scratch. All of this stuff I want to get rid of. And whatever system you're using, the email templates likely follow a similar format where you're mostly just dealing with little blocks that you can move around, delete, add. So let's say, for example, I wanted to get rid of this photo block here. I can click within the block, select this trash icon to get rid of it. Same thing here, same thing here. And I can just continue on downwards, keep deleting all the things that I don't want in this email, basically to get it to start from scratch. So now I just want to add a paragraph. I want some text. So I can come over here to the side where it says content, and I can find paragraph right here. And all I have to do is drag this block over. Now it's going to be included here. So now I want some text for this email. So I went ahead and did this already, but I used a website, ChatGPT, another link in the description. If you don't have an account there, free to set up. It's going to make your life as a realtor way easier. And I basically asked it the following. Can you write an email acting as a realtor, reaching out to renters, explaining the benefits of homeownership? Specifically, I'd like 3 paragraphs where the first talks about appreciation and equity, the second talks about mortgage interest deduction, and the third talks about fixed payment versus increasing rents. Please use example cases for a condo of $600,000 and an interest rate of 6.5% and 10% down. And it basically gave me this email back with all of those things included. Here's the condo part with appreciation, actual number, criteria. So all I had to do is just copy and paste this text, which I will. Come back in here, press paste. And you actually, to make sure the formatting is the same as you want in here, you can go to edit, paste, and match style right here. You will have to do some reformatting. So this did get a little bit screwed up. So let's bring it down so you can see it. So let's add some spaces. This was kind of a bold text. So let's come in here, highlight it, and then finish up. Nice, looks good. Let's keep just making a few changes. And then from here, here's where it actually benefits to have the renter's name, because instead of having to do something like future homeowner, where people can easily be like, okay, this is a mass email, I can actually, in most systems, ActivePipe, Command, whatever system you're using, you have the ability to add something called merge tags. So in this case, the merge tag I'm going to select is first name. And so what this will do is for each contact that's getting this email, it's going to auto-populate their name basically within the system. So now I have this email here that looks really good, talks about the benefit of home ownership versus renting, because this ad and this email is obviously targeting people that are currently renting in a neighborhood. So then I can also add some material. So I can come in here to Fidelity Agent 1, and maybe I want to rent versus buy flyer, showing people the actual breakdown with these numbers. So I can go to calculators, then rent versus buy. Then I can enter in current rent. So let's say current rent of $3,000, house price $600,000, down payment of 10%. Let's change some assumptions. Let's say rent appreciation is a little bit higher, 5%. And I think the example we used in this text was something about, it said 3% appreciation somewhere, but we can change that within the calculator if we wanted. So let's say compute for now. Now it's going to give me this breakdown of cost. So I can actually make it for 5 years, and this number here will change in terms of the benefit. The blue line you're looking at is the cost of buying over time. The orange or yellowish line is rent costs over time, and you just see it essentially exponentially increasing over time. But I want a template to use in this email, so I can go to share print PDF. Now it's going to give me these templates for owning versus buying over a 5-year time span. I like this one. I think it's a little bit more simple. So now I have this material. So now I can press download. I want to download it as a JPEG, as an image file, so it can easily be imported into an email. So then I'll go back to this email here. Same thing. Now I need to add a new block, right? So I can come in here to image, drag it over. Now I basically want to add that image that I had on my computer. I already had it here imported earlier. Insert. And so now I have it here. Looks good. So I can also say something like this, where I say PS. If you'd like to see actual numbers or try any numbers, check out the image below. Or if you'd like to run through an example, check out this calculator. And the last thing I'll do is add a lead gen calculator from Fidelity Agent One. This is part of the premium section of the app. $10 a year, 99 cents a month. I think it's really worth it. You're going to get a lot of really good, engaging real estate marketing material released every single month for you. So real estate infographics, videos, lenses, everything you might need. But what we will use are these lead gen calculators. And so how these work is if you include it as a link, as a QR code, whatever it is, if people engage with it, they get taken to a rent versus buy calculator themselves, or a mortgage calculator, or seller net sheet calculator. So I'll choose the rent versus buy calculator. And like I said, this is what the user experience looks like. They can click on it. They can put in these for themselves. They can put in their current rent. It's going to hit go. It's going to show them the numbers, and then offer a benefit to basically ask for more information. So we want the link for this included in the email. So I can select share, copy link. So now I have the link to it. I can go back to this email. I'm going to highlight this text here and add a hyperlink to it. So now how I did that is I just highlighted it. You can just click this link up here or Command K on a keyboard and it'll pop up. So now I basically have this email where it's going to auto-populate the renter's name. It's going to give them some information about buying versus renting. Going to give them a nice image that looks something like this with my information. And if they click on it, they go to a calculator that looks something like this. And then I easily just send this to the people that are renters. So really basic, easy campaign. What's nice is ChatGPT is a free resource. A lot of these email campaigns are inexpensive. The emails are cheap. It's just setting it up and you're good to go. So if you want to set something like this up for yourself and you have some issues technically or just want some general hand holding along the way, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to hop on a Zoom with you, show you how this works for yourself. Look forward to working with you soon.